Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's good to see you again after some time. And I'm happy to be back. To be back in the Hellish Quart type of events. Not sure if it's gonna be like coming fully coming back and hosting every time, but it was more of a special situation as I was planning to host the UFC event, but the PS services are down, so I thought that I still want to do an event tonight, and why not? Hellish Quart hasn't had too many events recently, so here we are. Um, we're going back to the basics, as you probably know. In my events, we're playing on the faster mode, the old mode, the retro mode. It's going to be a normal tournament, double elimination. Best of three in the winners bracket, best of one in the lower bracket. All fights are 7 flags on the void map. Subu will be joining me as well in the commentary very soon. Thank you also, Bobo, for offering, but I think we're good. And yeah, let's have a look at the participant. Uh, we have 9 people signed up, which is great, especially for a very last minute announcement. We got Nug. I've never seen Nug playing in a tournament or in one of my tournaments, so it's going to be interesting. We got Mechanics, who's been doing great recently. There's obviously the elites like Subu and Oak. We got Captain, who's also a regular at this point. Grid as well. Togoshi made his debut actually the last event I made a few months ago. So I'm happy to see how he has evolved. I remember he was showing promise. And there's also Senko the Saber. Never seen him play. So hopefully we're gonna get something interesting. So yeah, 9 people is a very good number. And before we go into the bracket, I just want to mention 2 things with the Challenges Pro version. We got the monthly rankings, and we also got the all-time rankings. So based on the position that you're going to get tonight, you're going to get a number of points, which will be um, added to your July and all-time points. The difference now compared to what we had before is um, you get points, so you still get like 1 point if you finish last or among the last. But if you finish, for example, like fourth or fifth or sixth, you still get the number of points depending on the number of people involved. So today there aren't going to be too many points, given that we're 9 people, but still a decent number. But for example, if in the future we have a tournament with 20 people, if you get to like round 3 or round 4, you're going to get a significant number of points. So this is very valuable to us because it will basically encourage people in competing and getting a high number of competitors. So maybe it will even drive some of you telling other people to join up in order to get more rewards and make things more interesting. Okay, um, let's shuffle the bracket. We're gonna do it 4 times as always. One, two, three, and 4. Oh, Info just joined. Awesome. It means that we have even more points for today. Let's have a look at the bracket. Okay, Nag versus Togoshi, first fight. Info, winner will fight Info. Subu versus Oak, the first match. And I find it funny because I watched a little bit of Captain Adler's tournament on Wednesday, and they also met in the first round. Uh, that's kind of the beauty and the problem with the double elimination system. Sometimes you can get a very tough match from the start. Yeah, we got Grid versus Senko. The winner's gonna face Captain Adler, and there's gonna be me versus Mechanics. Mechanics is currently number one ranked this month, so he's looking to get a very good result here today, maybe even win the tournament. So I'm happy to cross swords. I haven't played the game almost at all in the last 2 months, so I'm seeing, and it's not reverse psychology. I really see mechanics as being the favorite here. Um, yeah, so let's start the tournament. And Nug versus Togoshi first match.
Oh,
Hello, welcome. How are you?
doing great. A little bit smoky over here, but the rain, we've been getting constant rain, sometimes for weeks on end. It's let up a little bit, so doing pretty well. I guess it's better than a heat wave, though. Europe was getting a massive heat wave at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same time, which sounds worse, because at least with rain, you can hang out inside and it's not overly hot or anything, but
yeah, yeah. That's actually quite accurate because we really had a heat wave and it was really hard. And
yeah.
it rained the last 2 days, and now it's more bearable.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, I don't know if you saw the bracket. You're fighting Oak again in the first round.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was live on stream, so please don't accuse me of anything. Yeah, so these things happen, but I'm sure it's gonna be a good fight, and it is double elimination, so one of you will definitely get the chance to come back after.
Yeah,
Okay,
and it's pretty much always close. It'll be a banger, I think, for sure.
yeah. Right, so we get Nug versus Togoshi, best of three. Sending them the link. You can also join as well. The link is in competition calls.
Hmm.
Yes, I was saying I'm actually quite excited about the new system because first of all it's automated, so we don't really have to do everything manually, and
Hmm.
second, it really encourages people to join up as rewards will be higher if that happens. Still, there is a little bit of a problem with that, but I guess we can nitpick, which is sometimes even a smaller tournament can be a lot more difficult than a larger tournament. Imagine you have like a tournament with 6 7 people and you got it's you and Oak and Eve and whoever, which is a very difficult tournament. And it can also be a very large tournament, but you have, I don't know, maybe your first opponent doesn't show up. Then you get like a favorable matchup. Somebody else gets knocked out before, and sometimes you get like an easier path even with a big number of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it kind of it sorts itself out throughout history. Uh,
Yeah.
okay, anyway, let's get back to fighting. So the first fight tonight is going to be Nug on the left side, Togoshi on the right side, best of three. Let's see these two at work. I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah. Nug left, Togoshi right. Do you know if Nug needs keyboard?
I do not know.
Hmm, probably. Let me see. Nug, you got keyboard now if you need. Yeah, yeah, that was it.
Just a PSA to some of the new guys, you might be hearing me twice. Mute me on Discord because Venator has a strange issue with that. But if you just mute me on Discord, you'll still hear me through Parsec and it'll be fine.
Okay, and Togoshi goes with Yan. So we're starting with a classic here. I'm also curious to see what are the changes in the game because, as I said, I played only like 3 matches since my last hosting, and I really don't know what. Yeah, Nug is from Asia, so we might have some
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, a fair few Asian players lately, actually. We haven't talked about it much, but I
Okay.
think Quest server is relatively dead, unfortunately. So if they want to play in competition, certainly this is the better place for them to come. But it does mean there's a lack of Asian hosts that they can rely on. Obviously, that can change. That's not set in stone. But
Yeah.
that's the current state of things. Is there's not a lot of people hosting from Asia, but there's a fair few of them sort of trickling in. Yeah, but we're always open for Asian hosts. If Asian hosts want to host here, it's perfectly fine, even though we're traditionally NA and EU.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something, and you probably remember last week I hosted a UFC event and people were playing like with 300 ping and whatnot.
Yeah,
The thing is, if you play from a region that doesn't necessarily have many players and you're kind of forced by the circumstances to play with people from Europe or North America,
yeah,
your actual gameplay experience is gonna be the same. As in, yes, maybe the opponent. I mean, if you play online, I mean, okay,
yeah,
yeah, the opponent will probably have the same ping, and you're both gonna struggle. But like the experience itself, like the way you play, is gonna be the same, even if it's an online game.
yeah,
Like you're still gonna experience the same delay.
yeah,
That's the thing. Of course, from a competitive standpoint, yes, somebody will likely get an advantage and whatnot. But I think what people want is not necessarily for the other person to have the advantage. It's more like I want to have a good experience. You know,
yeah.
that's the
It's
thing.
stable, yeah.
Because swap size, please. Let me change the names quickly. Because it really doesn't matter to me if the other guy has a completely terrible experience if I also have a bad experience.
Yeah,
You know, that's the thing. Like people want um, to have a good experience whenever they play.
yeah.
Um, Back to the fight. Togoshi won the first round. Nug probably struggled a little bit with adjusting to the ping and playing first time on my host. It takes a little bit of time to adjust to high ping when you
Hmm.
play on a host for the first time.
Yeah. And Nug has played on my host, but the distances can be funny sometimes depending on where in Asia. Some parts of Asia are actually closer to me than you, and vice versa. So it's funny how that can play out sometimes.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Togoshi's European, so probably
Yeah.
doesn't. Speaking of ping, whenever I played on a European host, unless there was like an actual issue, like stutter or
Yeah.
anything like that, it was perfectly fine. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really not something you can complain. Anyway,
Yeah, even North America and EU is usually pretty good. It's just Asia sometimes is
yeah,
spotty, but it depends on the host, of course. Like a stable Asian host is actually not bad, even for me.
yeah. Um,
Anyway,
even if even when I play on your host, most of the times is very stable and smooth.
yeah,
Even if I can't do a lot of the tricks and whatnot, it kind of makes me play more patiently or somehow measured, and sometimes that works in my favor compared to
yeah,
when I play on my host and I tend to get reckless because I have the input responsiveness and I just start doing wild stuff all of a sudden and get punished for it.
right. Ooh, the feint there by
Yeah.
Nug. That's a very ballsy move. It actually is faster now since Sam got a slight buff,
Yeah.
but it doesn't trade favorably when Jan just goes in like that.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's a feint. The whole point is if you get called out, you're in trouble. So you're supposed to use it at a time when your opponent's not really expecting it.
All right. So Nug is very close actually to making it even after a somewhat slow start. I guess Uh,
Ooh,
he. Um, I'm not sure about the pronouns. Um, yeah,
oh,
there we
nice
go.
aggression, but at the right time, and it works.
Here we go. 1-1.
A lot of people talk about Sam's guard, and obviously it is really good, but he has really good long-range sweeping cuts as well that he can mix in with his snap cuts,
Swap
and
sides.
I think it makes for really good combinations. And he's just really responsive as a character too, which is something some of the new sabers like Sava and Hassan kind of lack. Yakub as well, unfortunately, but
Yeah. Okay. Last set.
bit of a trade there.
Winner will qualify to round two, where Info is waiting. Info signed up last moment. Oh,
Nice
nice,
sidestep.
nice.
The A cut's a little bit underrated. They actually go straight to the sword hand a lot of the time, so as long as you're sure you won't take a hit in turn, they can actually be really good. Both have suffered some damage. The next hit will likely decide it.
Oh, nice.
Nice, back X.
Distance trap there by Nug. I think Nug overall shows a little bit more experience with the game. Togoshi has some good moments, but at times he's kind of being outplayed by um, by the book tricks.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Togoshi's flags are very simple. It's sort of he comes in, throws a quick Y cut, and if Nug happens to not be prepared for it, then he gets punished for it. And Yon's actually really good in those situations. Sort of
Oh,
brawling with
nice
you up
with
close.
wrist.
Nice. Yeah. He's a very much a jack of all trades character. He's known for his range game, but even up close actually, because of his HP and those sweeping cuts he can throw, he can actually do really well in brawls too.
Yeah. 4-2.
Nice
Nug.
try with the feint.
Nice.
Keeps going.
Yeah. Nug is actually continuing the ascendant trend. After that first set, just kind of locked in and has been pretty much dominating. And one more flag needed. Pretty
Yeah.
fast-paced fight, I have to say.
Yeah. Nug threw a lot of feints there, and then there we go. Just go straight in when his opponent gets too close. Bit of a dash. That got punished.
And that's it. Congratulations to Nug, and I'm actually happy. Oh, Nug has a 228 ping. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's doable, but I'm actually happy because Nug was able to play. The way that the fight started kind of got me worried that he won't be able to play, but we got it, and the info will
Yeah.
be waiting. Right. So we're gonna go to the second fight of round one, which is Grid Square. I remember Grid competing quite often in the past months when I was hosting. Facing Senko. Senko, another Asian player, I believe. Senko said that he got the game last week. Sometimes that can work in your favor. You can be very unpredictable, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Grid is
And Grid's
already.
where
Yeah.
he plays a more by the book style, so it'll be interesting to see how those two will collide.
Yeah, Grid is. Oh wait, how do I tag that person? Because
Kind of
it's.
fitting too.
Oh,
I don't know how
change
you.
change the
Nice. Okay.
change the name. Yeah, we need to have a rule with.
Like Roman letters, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not to be like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
Eurocentric or anything. It's just it's awkward with
Just the
our
accessibility.
keyboards
Yeah.
to ping people. Yeah. You know, we have a. It's why English is the official language of the server too, right? Similar thing.
Yeah. No, no response yet. In the meantime, I just wanted. Oh, okay. There he is. Connected. Let me have a look at the ping. Oh, 155. So they're in
Okay.
North America, I believe, or in Europe with a very bad internet, or in Asia with a very good internet. But no, no, it can't be. All right.
Yeah, it would be pretty far if
Yeah.
it was Asia.
I mean, it could be something like Pakistan. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it could be something like Pakistan. So grid is on the left and the Senko is on the right. Maybe it needs keyboard. Let me see. Here we go. Because actually, in the UFC event I had last week, the title
Hmm.
fight that I had, and my co-commentator was actually a Pakistani player. Oh, but actually,
Interesting.
he lives in Dubai right now, and he had
Okay. Yeah.
150 ping. So, Kalk versus Jan. Let's see.
Ooh,
Jan with
there's
the
a
favorable trade.
yeah. And that's something Calc will have to watch out for. His HP is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, except that Jan has a slight advantage there. Nice double.
Yeah, it seems that some characters, some somewhat popular characters, let's say, will never die. There was a time when a lot of people, oh, nice catches the arm. A lot of people were playing Calc. There was Carlos,
Yeah.
there was Oak, there was Eve, there was Pico quite often playing
Yeah.
Calc. Even some other players trying him every now and then. Uh, Calc hasn't been used much, but then you always have like this one player that just starts maining the the character.
Yeah. Nice X cut there. His opponent, Grid Square, I think he moved just a little bit to the side, so it managed to land. Plus, he was moving forward. Sometimes that doesn't really help you when you have these deep cuts coming in. Sometimes your guard will start collapsing if you're too close,
Yeah,
depending on the character and stuff.
Senko's playing this very simple but also very effective at the same time, just standing and planting, and
Yeah.
then going for a cut.
I like how he's exerting pressure with the corkscrew
Oh,
too. Even if it's not killing, it's still getting some damage in, which especially on a character like Calc can really add up over time with the
yeah,
stamina. Nice. And then this time he lands it perfectly.
yeah, strong start for Senko. 4 flags.
Cork again. More of a graze, but still damage. All damage is good. Again.
Oh,
Nice.
saves a
It's a
double
double,
there.
but good
Yeah.
try. Chop. Nice
Oh,
upcut, but not able to capitalize.
oh, gets
Still
the
gets
kill
it.
eventually.
Yeah, there was a way, I think, to capitalize on that, but the problem was he queued a thrust, so it was too late once he landed the initial cut. But Calc does have combos from the upcut that can land and continue hitting the opponent. Nice.
Yeah, 5-2. Grid is showing signs of coming back. This next flag is quite important, and yeah, it finishes pretty fast with
Yeah.
Senko's Win.
I appreciate trying
Nice.
to nice sidestep upcut. I appreciate trying to mix the stabs in, but if your opponent's sort of thinking I'm just gonna walk forward and cut you, sometimes the thrust will be knocked aside just enough or
Oh,
even blade
nice
beat.
scalping.
Nice. Yeah.
Perfectly, perfect range. Yeah, Senko's
Yeah.
showing really good potential here. Just good fundamentals, using the range properly. Grid will have
Yeah.
to use his experience to get past his hurdle. Maybe even a character change. Swap size, please.
Yeah. And I play quite a bit of Yon, and I have to say the move selection by Senko, the fight IQ, all of it's pretty much there right now.
Yeah,
Obviously, there's more advanced stuff he could be trying, but for a new player, he's doing fantastic.
yeah. Oh, Isabella for grid and Jan for Senko. Yes, this is going to be interesting. I think Isabella is a good pick in this situation. But looks like Senko. That's the thing with these new players, you know, they don't have these let's call them biases towards certain characters. Like, oh, I'm
Hmm.
against this character, I need to shell up, or against this character, I need to be super aggressive. They just kind of
Yeah.
play, and sometimes they surprise you.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what we saw there with Senko just going for it.
Yeah. There is a skill to landing the corkscrew as well. Obviously, it has a
Nice.
reputation for bypassing guard, but your distance has to be just right, in my experience, to do that and get a kill reliably. A lot of the time, you'll just graze if you're not careful.
Yeah, I think the corkscrew is perfectly balanced right
Yeah.
now, which is feels like a high risk, high reward type of move, and we see it right here. Like committed to it,
Hmm.
paid for it, but the first time actually worked.
Yeah.
Before it was pretty safe to throw it and also very powerful.
Yeah. Which was certainly a bit much, especially given the way it's thrown. It should be a powerful move, but it should be something that's counterable for sure.
Yeah, it was designed to kind of go around the guard.
Yeah.
This time throwing it way too close gets punished for 3-2.
Yeah.
Grid being patient, cut it
Oh,
to thrust, nice.
nice.
I think Senko was trying to do something and got caught. And again is
Yeah, I
going
think
too close,
Senko.
yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to force the corkscrew a bit too much now. It worked earlier, and now he's throwing it more. Maybe he needs to go back to fundamentals.
Yeah, and again. Yeah, this is where you usually see um, a new player's limitations. And of course, I'm not saying this in a bad way. Oh, this one was nice. Is
Yeah.
that when things are going well, everything goes well. But when things start to go wrong, they don't really have an answer to it. We'll see if
Yeah.
Senko does.
I do like the side steps against Isabella though. That was
Yeah,
really smart. He actually landed a parry with the right Y side step too, which isn't easy.
yeah. This was a nice adjustment actually with the side step. Gets the double. Oh, nice.
Oh,
Caught his arm.
yeah. Perfect counter cut there.
Yeah, Grid is also playing this quite simple. Gets cut by the side step this time. 6-5. And tries the side step. Grid is very patient. Goes again for the cut to thrust.
Oh,
Maybe
might be
some.
some lag.
Yeah, maybe lag.
Yeah, that doesn't look normal. For new players, you can long guard when you're ready to go. And then that'll tell your opponent that you can resume fighting. Careful, the posta de dona might exhaust yourself when your opponent comes back. kind of interesting. That stance actually takes stamina away, but if you do like high guard or something, it doesn't.
Yeah. I guess Senko's struggling. Let me have a look at the ping. Ping is still normal.
Your Wi-Fi cut. That's what he said. His Wi-Fi cut.
Oh, you shouldn't be playing this on a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's really all we can do if it's your end is wait or reconnect. Yeah, gotta reset it.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna wait because I don't want to start another fight and then go back to playing two flags and then yeah,
Yeah.
joining back. Okay, okay, should be fine. Um, Senko is actually, even though the score is 6-5, um, he has a very good chance right now, which is if he scores the next two flags, he wins the fight. He's in a better position compared to Grid, who has to win this set in order to push it into the third. Sometimes there's so it's more pressure on Grid right now compared to him, and that's something that sometimes you need to take into consideration. Yeah, but Grid actually finishes it, and it's 1-1. Solid change here for Grid. Still a very
Yeah.
close fight, but at least he managed to get the win back. Let's see what happens to Senko now in the last round.
Yeah.
Swap sides, please.
And I actually liked that he committed to the combo at the end there, which might seem risky at first, but it
Swap
gives
sides.
Senko something to think about when one flag is on the line. So I think it paid off beautifully there. Yeah, press RT, guys. Oh, yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah. Grid is on the left and Senko on the right.
Samuel, okay.
Yeah, looks like he's going for Sam. Maybe Grid is just trying to. Maybe he also felt that Isabella was not as. I don't know, safe as he thought
Yeah.
to win the fight. I've seen this happening many times where people still switch characters when they win.
Yeah.
Usually two reasons. One of them, they feel like the opponent has kind of adjusted and will probably cause them issues in the last set, or they want to keep them thinking and
Mm-hmm.
still go with something else.
Yeah. And Grid Square does have some experience of Samuel, so he's not out of his element by any means. He seems to be trying to play the sniping game right now with these cuts. So it's up to Senko to play this really precisely. But I say that, they do end up trading, but Jan wins out. Nice sidestep. That's actually a really dangerous one, the sidestep Y.
Oh, the quirk lands as I was about to say Nug. Grid goes into it.
Yeah. It might have helped him oddly enough though, because
Nice.
the tip didn't hit. But it's hard to say.
Oh,
Nice counter cut
Yeah.
right after the parry. Perfect timing.
It's exactly what I nice. It's exactly what I said earlier, which is Grid's experience needs to take over and we're seeing it.
Yeah. Nice counter at the chop, actually, the wind up at the chop, and then a follow up.
It's a thing that a lot of players do in the UFC game as well. Um, Very good players never go in there guns blazing. They usually take like the first round in order to get a feel of their opponent. And I'm not
Yeah.
even talking about me or something. I'm talking about like people who are some of the greatest players since the beginning of the UFC games. Like they're still extremely patient even with people that are very average. Just
Yeah.
because they want to read everything before they start committing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you learn some things about your opponent, and you
yeah,
adjust as you go.
and you don't get
That's how it
surprised.
works in a lot of
Yeah,
real fights too. Like you sort of have that feel out phase in the fight. You typically don't go 100% right away unless you want to end the fight like right now type of thing.
yeah. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, this time it was a dominant display here from Grid. And experience wins 2-1, but solid display from Senko in the first two sets, and we're gonna see Senko is actually going to face the loser between Subu and Oak, so it's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be one set only. Anything can happen. But yeah, we're gonna see him again. Now we're actually going to get the derby of the first round, second round technically, between Subu and Oak, and I think this is going to be very close. It's also gonna be interesting story because one of them is definitely going to climb their way back up. So it's gonna make the lower bracket even more interesting. So yeah, here we go. One of the biggest derbies in Hellish Quart history starts right now. Subu on the left, Oak on the right. Yeah, another Yan. Subu does play Yan every now and then. He's a Barabash main, but I seen him play Yan. I think he also used Yan on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, against Oak. Oak back to Jacek. He has said multiple times that Jacek feels like a complete saber to him, and he's been using him extensively in the past, maybe 1 year, 1.5 years. Um, Chop there. Oh, and a nice. I don't think I've seen that, or maybe I did, but I just can't remember right now. What move was that? 1-1. And a nice upcut. 2-1. Not a very used move of Yatsek's, I think, because it's not like the fastest move ever. Oh, the cork catches him right over the wrist. If you move back, it will allow the cork or thrusts in general to land. So you gotta be careful with that. That's why I don't always agree with the idea that moving back solves everything, because sometimes moving back puts you exactly in the position where you get hit by stuff. So it's more about range management itself than just pressing back. 4-3. Subu with a couple of good flags. Nice. Quick counter there by Oak, and it's 4-4. Very close fight as expected. Neither of them are giving the opponent any ground, and a nice two-piece, and Oak wins the exchange. Both Sabers at heart, so they understand the Saber play really well. And Saber gameplay is about committing. Oh, and a nice counter cork, perfectly timed. 6-5. Let's see if Oak manages to win this here. These two are both two very stubborn players when it comes to giving the round to the opponent, and we see it right here. That's one of the things that separates these two and some other players from the rest of the pack, which is it's very hard to finish them off. Like, you get to that 5th or 6th flag, and then all of a sudden they start entering second phase, and that was a beautiful commitment there by Oak with the third attack that caught Subu by surprise, and it's 7-6. Oak wins the first set. Swap size, please. Nice chop. And a nice wraparound cut, aesthetically pleasing, and doesn't really work all the time, but when it does, it's quite nice. Third flag here. Strong start for Subu. Oh, again, that second cut lands. Oak was able to win most of his flags by kind of timing his second or even third intention attack. He kept his footing, and then landed the solid blow at a moment where Subu was not expecting it. Oh, that's a double. That was pretty smart by Subu to save the flag. Six to one, yeah. Subu is dominating this this set, but I kind of feel like Oak is, yeah, and there you go, 7-1. I won't say he gave up, but he was probably at a point where he felt like coming back is way too much work, and I'll just focus on the third set. Not as in he gave up the fight, as in, you know, he just tried a couple of things instead of, you know, grinding it out. And I understand that mindset, to be honest. Here we go, last set. First one was very close. Oak edged it. The second one was dominated by Subu. We'll see what happens in the third. I can almost guarantee you that this will end in 7-6 or 7-5. One zero. Oh, that was a beautiful call there by Subu. Called him out on the feint and scored. Subu starts strong again. Nice. Caught him on the. Yeah, that's one thing that you can't really do against Oak, which is trying to go low. He's always going to punish you to the head. He's not afraid to trade because he knows he's going to win it 2-1. And that's a thing that usually Saber mains do. Like people who don't main Sabers don't necessarily do that. They try to defend and then try to attack. It's kind of a Saber thing. 2-1. Some feints, both a little bit cautious. A back Y lands. Subu has a little bit of a damage advantage here. I mean health advantage, I want to say. 2-2, and Oak is back. Three. Strong start by Subu, but now the fight has kind of settled, and they're even right now. And as I said, I think they're probably gonna go until the last flags. Nice. That was a perfect counter time there by Subu, and he went to the side, which closed Oak's angle. Tried it again. Got a hit in, but he also got hit in the process. Subu also has a Yan, I mean, has also a longer saber, so that helps. And it's a double. Oh, nice. Upcut and then retreat cut in one motion. That's one of the things that you can do a little bit more effectively in the retro mode, which is you can create some custom combos. Oh, that was beautiful. Stepped in with the two-piece combo, and I've seen him score the same flag in the first set. It didn't work this time. Subu was ready. And there you go. The prediction is accurate. 5-5. Oh, nice. Caught him. The perfect distance. Downward cuts have this property of landing from a certain distance. And Subu moved back and he got caught. Cork. And I think Subu landed two attacks. And it's a double. Another double. Oh, and Suba went for a the scalping technique, but from close distance, and Oak wins this one, 2-1. A very close fight. Overall, Suba has scored more flags, but because of the second round, but Oak focused a little bit more in round 3, and will continue in the winners bracket. Suba will have to work his way up back from the lower bracket, but he's definitely very capable of doing that. Next fight, it's gonna be me versus Mechanics. As I said, I've been away for some time, so it's gonna be a very difficult fight, especially since Mechanics is now number 1 in the rankings for the month of July for the new rankings, and he has won the last tournament, so it's going to be a very difficult fight. It was before, but I'm sure it's going to be even more now. Let's invite him in and let's see what happens.
Yeah, great fight, oh.
Yeah,
Always a great fight against Yuriazik.
yeah, it was definitely a great fight. Could have gone either way, but you know, somebody's got to lose, somebody's got to win. But
Exactly.
in a
Yeah.
double elimination, the other person gets a second chance. Okay, let's get mechanics in. It requires relog in. You used Parsec 2 days ago. Weird.
Yeah, it's fine. Mechanics, it won't take that long.
Yeah. After that, we're gonna see Info versus Nug and Captain versus Grid Square. And after that, we're gonna move to the lower bracket and see what happens there. The loser of this fight will face Togoshi. I feel like this tournament is not going to be very long. Hopefully we don't get any other technical issues.
Mm-hmm. As far as Yazik not being meta or being meta, I would say he's definitely meta. I mean, many of the best players use him. He is used quite a bit in tournaments, so I would consider him meta personally. He's one of those A tier characters that you can use really, really well if you put in the time. And his tools are really good. His guard is objectively good, so.
Alright, I'm on the left, Mechanics is on the right. I am going with Isabella, I missed her. And Mechanics is going with Bara, not with his usual, which is Tarna.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing a taunt right away, which is not something you see new players use. It's a more advanced tactic. Mechanics obviously has been with us for some time, so he's seen it done and is trying to implement it here. That's something Venator's known for as well. Even a lot of pro players actually don't taunt a lot. They might feint manually, but they don't use the dedicated taunt input. But it does have its uses. But it is something your opponent can easily counter if they read it, is the key. So if you taunt and then your opponent moves away, then their guard will resume where it should be. Venator, some retreat cuts, is getting the advantage now. Although Mechanics did have an early lead there against somebody like Venator, he's definitely going to have to prove that he's still in the fight. As Venator does score another one. Mechanics did a little taunt there, and then he did something after, so the hand was right for the taking. That is one disadvantage with Barabash, is his hand is actually pretty exposed, especially if you're doing something. So if Isabella does like a high guard cut or something, and you are, if you're even pressing the input at sort of the last second, that means your auto guard is disabled and there's nothing stopping the cut from hitting your hand. Or if you move the wrong way too, like Venator was saying, it's not a case where moving back will always save you. Sometimes it's actually the worst thing you can be doing against certain attacks. But actually it's an even fight now. Obviously Venator trying to get that rust off his blade. I like that he's sort of prodding at the defenses there. Mechanics showing some patience. But there we go, we see the taunt in action just now. The guard did not adjust in time because Mechanics was not prepared for the taunt. And like I said, Barabash's hand, a very good target to aim for. Certainly as long as you mind the fact that he might go for your head while you do that. That's something in Barabash mirrors, by the way, or fighting against Yon. Like, you have to really watch out for is those hand snipes. It's definitely a thing that happens a lot in saber fights, especially. Nice back Y after the sidestep. Again, I like that Venator's applying pressure, but not in a way that's easy to punish. Trying to make good use of the range of the weapon. Ooh, it almost looked like a hand snipe was gonna occur there for Venator, but not quite. The Thunder Punch is brave. I wouldn't throw that in this match personally, except for memes. But I do appreciate that he backed wide after. He still recovered in the best way possible, so Venator wasn't quite able to end it, although the A cut to the arm was a smart idea to try and punish it right away. It didn't quite work. Nice stab to the arm. Venator actually breaks off there. Sometimes the combos are awkward after the stab, so I don't blame him.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional.
Oh, okay.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. There we go. Perfect snap cut. As his opponent moved to the side, that leaves you pretty vulnerable to stuff like that, to the hand.
Pretty strong Bara play there. Quite patient, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can definitely feel the rust. I can definitely feel it. Like I'm doing some things, but I feel like I'm doing them mechanically instead of naturally.
Yeah.
That's normal.
And even, I don't know if Oak feels the same way, but I haven't been competing that much lately because, you know, tournaments haven't been that numerous and I've been running the USFC, but for many weeks that's sort of been the only thing I've done Hellish Quart related. Otherwise I've been playing other games, so definitely gotta lab some more and practice some more if I want to get to the highest level I can, I think.
Yeah.
Connor, this can actually pose some problems for Isabella. I won't say Connor is necessarily objectively stronger or anything like that, but that shield is really difficult to get that longsword past. You really have to be creative with Isabella. Certainly seen Connor be used before as a counter to Isabella, and it's worked surprisingly well. But Mechanics is going to have to prove he knows how to play the character. Venator is actually super familiar with this matchup. A bit of a check for how, wow, how rusty he is there. That Zwir cow is amazing. After the leg void. Yeah, that's you don't see that combo thrown very often, but this is one matchup where it might actually be a really good one. It goes right to the head after going to the leg, and it's a nice way to sometimes trap punish attempts. Nice snap cut to the head as Mechanics did a little, I don't know if there was a feint per se, but he was doing a little jab with that blade and he was punished. And the A cut there after the taunt. That is the risk of the taunt, by the way. It's just like a regular feint. If you're doing it and your opponent is actually ready to call you out, then your guard will be disabled. That is the risk you take for trying to essentially disable your opponent's auto guard. Bit of lag there for Mechanics, but he's back in the fight. And yeah, it's looking pretty good for Venator. It's certainly not over, but it looks like Venator has complete control of this fight. Intelligent usage of those leg cuts, which Isabel is not really known for. A lot of characters, I would say, can probably punish that really easily, but Connor really has to watch his leg. And nice snap cut by Mechanics. I definitely see the vision behind the Connor pick, but perhaps it wasn't quite the answer here for him. Yeah, and Venator's happy to mix it up. He has the flag advantage, so he can risk going in for a push and then trying to snap cut the head. Have to be a little bit careful though. That defensive Connors is a tough nut to crack, even with pushing. Bit of a taunt there. Nice backdash by Mechanics. The push and then a follow-up by Venator, although they both traded it looks like. Mechanics got a hit to the leg, which is going to make it hard for Venator to play the distance with this particular flag, but Mechanics move forward, and it looks like he tried something, and there's a snap cut to the head.
Yeah, GG. The Connor pick, yes, it's indeed very tricky for Isabella because she has to use a bunch of moves that are not necessarily the most effective, but luckily I played Oaks Connor so many times that it came to help here. Yeah, good fight, Mechanics. Good to see you back. I'm frustrated. Yeah. Right.
It happens sometimes. Anyway.
We're gonna see Info versus Nug next. Nug showed us some really good gameplay last time. Info is Info. I want to say something about Info. I've been doing this all-time challenge ranked thing, and Info actually ranks at number 10 all time. Although she hasn't won too many tournaments, and maybe even didn't get that many top 3 positions, but Info was kind of always close to those top number 4, number 5, number 6, you know, always kind of there. And those points like added up. Like they added up and they added up and added up. And there's a really nice role that I'm preparing for everybody here, which is going to be called Hall of Famer. And one of the requirements will also be like all-time activity and tournament performance, and not necessarily just wins. And there are a bunch of people over there who are very dear to me when it comes to that. Like they always compete, and they have always competed in my tournaments. It was always great to have them around. So I'm glad that they're gonna get. I'm glad that the rankings and the way I picture things checked out, because I will be more than happy to induct these people into the Hall of Fame. But yeah, more on that later. Here we go.
Mechanics is double elimination, bro. You'll be fine. Just lock in. Make that climb. I've done it before. I get it. Losing the first round can really suck, but if you lock in, it's more than possible to make up for it.
Yeah, it's double elimination, so you can definitely come back, and it's important to get as far as possible. Each round matters. So with each round you pass, the more points you get. With each round you pass, the more points you get. And Mechanics is actually number 1 right now in the rankings. And even if he doesn't win the tournament but still gets pretty high, he might still keep number 1 position, or a very good position. Next week we're going to do the Olympics anyway, so there are going to be a lot of points on the line. So that is a good moment to secure first place or maybe top 5. Anyway, let's see Info versus Nug. Very curious. Does Info still play Marie nowadays? Or
No, she's been playing Jakob with the small sword. So
ooh,
she starts the fight with the saber,
there
and
we
then
go.
always switches to the small sword.
If there was somebody that would play Jakob, that would definitely be Info. So let's see what happens. Um, I'll be
Well,
very honest. I
wait,
haven't
no?
played. There we
There we
go.
go. I was gonna say, maybe it's because she was rushed down, so she panicked a little bit. But usually she tries to switch to the small sword right away.
Yeah, I haven't played. I haven't played Jakub almost at all. I only tried him a little bit when he came out. Didn't get much out of it. I like the small sword more than the saber, I have to say.
I think if the saber just had more moves.
Yeah, it's
I
just
like the
like
zoner sort of playstyle that he has, but he doesn't have a lot going for him with the saber. And for me, the small sword is not accurate enough. It
it's not
sometimes
long
just
enough
doesn't do the
either.
damage. That as well. You look at it next to the rapiers, it looks like a toothpick. It
Yeah,
doesn't even look like a sword, almost. But that is
because
how small they were.
that's kind of that's kind of the purpose of
Yeah,
a sword that looks like that. You have to make it long. I mean, I get it if it's a small sword against a small sword, right? But if it's small sword
yeah,
against anything else, I don't know.
yeah. That's the key. Like everybody else, when small swords were fashionable, was pretty much carrying small swords in civilian life, and the sabers became the sort of military weapon in a lot of countries. But yeah, against other swords, the small sword is kind of problematic to use. The
Yeah.
one advantage it does have in real life is that it's really nimble, and so it can get around the guard really quickly and deny contact. Because if you just try to statically block a long sword, for example, with that small sword, like you're just gonna get knocked aside. You're not gonna be able to do much. So that's supposed to be its advantage, but I don't think it's actually simulated in the game. It's more like a short rapier, really.
Yeah.
It is cool though. If Kupol gives him some love, I really love the idea of two weapons. They just need to be more effective. Oh yeah. And when a saber character comes forward with cuts like that, he has a hard time blocking those. I used Barabash against her Yakub, and I felt kind of bad because of how easy it was. Bara is traditionally a counter to rapiers to begin with, so when you got a character like Jakub who doesn't have the range even, it's even easier.
Nice. Yeah, it seems that Nog is just pretty much taking advantage, so to say, uh, by having a superior weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Just playing this, as I said earlier, in the same, it was the same player, just playing this by the book, just not doing anything crazy, just using range, doing some cuts. Where would you rank Jakob in
I
terms
think
of?
he is at least better than Sava and Hassan,
Mhm,
because the moves that he does have, particularly with the saber, are basically Samuel's moves.
mhm.
With some, he has a bit of Yasik in him too, with a few of his cuts, but at least they're solid, and he's got a decent guard. And I think he's at least a little bit more responsive at the zoning game than Sava is. Because Sava is strange. It's like he can't decide if he wants to be a zoner
Yeah,
or if he wants to be a brawler because he's got that dagger. And
yeah. There's just some things do not make
yeah,
sense in his design. That's one of the reasons I don't like playing him either. Swap size, please.
yeah. Whereas Jakob Saber, it definitely could be improved, but at least he's sort of focused on zoning. That's his thing, especially with the drawing of the sword thing. Although it is nice, in effect, that is what he's trying to do. He's trying to zone you. So. And a small sword gives him some variety that Sava just doesn't have, even with the dagger.
Nice.
Nice, Bruss.
Really
I have to
curious.
say, Info not putting on a bad showing considering the
Yeah.
character. I was worried this would be even worse than it is.
I was about to say that I'm quite curious to see what the next character is going to be, because at this point we kind of have all the characters that we need for the story. Like major characters, like we got Jakub now, who was a major character in the story from what we've heard.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be quite interesting to see which character we get next. I really hope that
Yeah.
we get somebody that is like either a long sword or something else.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a character who has a lot of depth. You know, the way Samuel, Yazek, and Tarnovsky have. Like, those three characters, I think, are the best new characters in relatively recent times that we got.
Actually, I'm gonna kind of say what everybody thinks. We need a character that is new, like has new animations, new moves, maybe even a new weapon,
Yeah.
or that's one of them. We need a character that is very fun to play. So that means like
Yeah.
he's fast, he's responsive, he's well balanced, and we need a character that is good, because it feels like all the other. Oh, nice grab! All the other characters that have come in the past year are a little bit underwhelming in terms of potency, and even if they are good, they're kind of are for the wrong reasons. Not because of like, okay, it's a very good character design and it has a lot of tools that you can use. It's more like, I don't know, some sort of gimmick. I'm thinking about Connor, for example, who I don't really
Yeah, the
necessarily
shields, yeah.
see as a very good character. It's more like as a gimmick, that makes
Yeah.
him good.
Grab.
Nice.
Yeah, Info can still grab. At least she has that.
Yeah. Info.
You can see sometimes she's messing up the info,
Oh!
which is actually
What is that?
nicely done. That's dash. Is it dash Y or dash A?
I've
actually
never
don't know.
seen that before.
It's one of the dash moves, obviously.
That was beautiful. 6-6.
Yeah, if you land with the tip perfectly, it's nice.
Let's see if Nug can finish this here, or Info is doing one of her crazy comebacks again.
Yeah. Big cuts, yeah.
close.
Just makes it messy, and as soon as that happens, the small sword
Close. Yeah,
does not do well.
But Info puts on a show, as always. Seen some. I actually really like that flag. That move was really cool. And Nug is in round 3, facing Oak. And now we're gonna see Captain Adler fight for the first time. And he is facing Grid Square. Grid, who had to dig deep in the previous fight. I would say Captain probably with a little bit more experience, but at this point it's going to be a tough match for both, I'd say. Okay, Captain. Need that money. Come and get him. Come and get it. Come and get it. Okay. Captain is here. Grid. Oh, I think Grid is having a problem. I'll be away for a moment, but I'll come back quick. Okay. Let's have a look at what happens in the tournament. So, immediately after this fight, we're going to see Mechanics face Togoshi in a best of one. Togoshi will be on the left side as he won a set. Then we got Subu versus Senko. Both won a set, so Subu staying on the left. We might see Subu facing Info very soon. And the loser of Captain and Grid will be facing the winner between Mechanics and Togoshi. We're gonna play all the matches of round 1 and round 2 from the lower bracket until we go back to round 3 winner bracket. Here we go. Grid is here. Let's see Captain Adler at work. Captain Adler playing various characters, but mostly Tarna and Isabella. Captain left side, Grid right side. Oh, I think it's going. No, it's going Tarna. Tarna versus Kalk. Nice match. I would probably favor Tarna in this fight, based on his ability to trade. Kalk's damage is not. I mean, sometimes it's kind of. It's not the best way to put it, to say the damage, because I don't know if you think about some of Marie's moves, right? Like she has a lot of damage. It's more like the ability to deal damage consistently. Because if you had to be like on a certain perfect distance in order to land that, I don't know, 200 damage, then it's not as good as a, I don't know, 50 damage cut that still kills in one shot. But it's very easy to land. So, yeah, numbers don't necessarily tell the whole story here.
100%. Ooh, nice. Goes for that thrust afterwards. Calc does a great job of that, following up a cut with a thrust of his own. Nice. This time the retreat X is not quick enough, actually, to secure a kill. I think it did hit a little bit, but that hit from Karma was just devastating. Switching guards with Tarna, that is something you can do with him to be a little bit tricky if you wish, and then you can just flow into whatever you want. Double.
Nice. Yeah. Grid is trying to make Kalk work, but unfortunately today he hasn't had that much success. And Captain Adler wins decisively this first round. We're probably going to see Grid switching characters. It worked for him in the first match. Captain Adler is obviously a different player.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I was expecting Sam. Sam definitely worked the best for Grid today. He also won with Isabella, but it was still a very close fight. And I think it's also pretty smart because had he chosen Isabella, I think Captain would have gone Isabella as well, and it's not the best mirror match. 1-1. Double. Oh, nice, iced it. Perfect. My captain. And again,
All right, nice hit.
yeah. Captain is in great form and using Tarna very well here.
Yeah, he does a great job of denying space and attacking at times when you really don't expect it. You look at that sword and think it's short, so it doesn't have a lot of reach, but the way he swings it and just puts his body behind those cuts.
Yeah, if he commits.
Yeah, it makes up for it big time. Nice. You can beat him to the punch, though, as Grid Square showed us there, but sometimes you gotta do so at your peril, because if your cut doesn't quite stop him, and then he hits your head, it's more likely that you'll win than not.
Nice. 5-3.
Nice, yeah. He went to the side as well. And so he attacked, and I think Grid Square might have been trying something too, so... Oh, back Y. Someone moved into it. Nice. Yeah, Grid Square trying to come back to life here. Certainly not over, but... Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I kind of cursed him there. Nice.
Yeah. Solid performance, but at least I think Grid got some information out of his out of the sets that he had tonight. So he's going to be fighting pretty soon again, and I think his Sam looked pretty good, but we'll see what he decides when his next fight comes in. Now we're moving to the lower bracket, and the first fight that we're gonna see is Togoshi on the left side fighting Mechanics on the right side. This is a best of one, so anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Lock in and do your best. And the winner of this will fight very soon against Grid.
Yep, still lots to play for, and one way to look at it as well for those in the losers bracket is this is where you're essentially guaranteeing that you're gonna be in a certain spot by the end of the tournament. So like think of it like you have two lives. If you lose earlier on, you know, it's not the end of the world as long as you keep winning. As you win the losers bracket, that's where the points really are gonna start counting. The first round is sort of your first chance. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
First bracket, I should say.
Togoshi sticks with Yan. And Mechanics is again experimenting with other characters that compared to... it seems that he doesn't trust his main that much.
Yeah. Oh, Togoshi going in with a YY and then a Y. That's a very good forcing combo, and actually he
Nice.
switches it up this time to YX.
I feel like switching characters switching characters on the fly is not usually the best strategy unless you know that the character that you have the most experience with is severely outmatched, which
Hmm.
I wouldn't really say that about Tarna with anybody. Um,
Yeah.
there are some bad matchups, of course, but yeah, old Ilxus had a saying like trust your main, trust your main.
Yeah. Yeah. And he would always play Gideon without fail for the most part, especially
Yeah,
in his prime. That's all he played.
yeah. This may sound silly, but I also used Isabella at times when the matchup really wasn't not necessarily like it was a bad matchup. You can't really say that Isabella can pretty much fight anybody.
Yeah.
It's just that there was like another option that would have been a lot easier. And I'm
Yeah.
specifically talking about when I was fighting Oak's Connor. Like those fights
Hmm.
were very
Yeah.
difficult. Uh, but if I picked Alex, I'm not saying it would have been like an easy win, but
Yeah.
certainly a much more accessible matchup
Yeah. Yeah.
than using because he has exactly the tools that Connor can't really counter.
Right.
Uh, but it was just about like trying to find like okay, I like this character. How can I find ways in order to still win this
Yeah.
matchup?
Yeah. And I think that's a good mindset to have. I
Yeah.
mean, some people switch it up regardless, and it works for them. But I think for a lot of people, finding your main, maybe a second main at most, and then trying to work out as many matchups as possible is
Yeah.
generally a good approach.
Yeah. In the meantime, Mechanics has taken the lead and proving us wrong here. His Saber fundamentals have transferred to Sam here, and he has taken control. And there you go.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, perhaps Sam would have been much better against Isabella. Because the thing with Connor is, like we said, he can pose problems. But if you don't know how to really play him to the full effect, like you haven't practiced him the way Oak, for example, has practiced him, you might run into trouble against the really experienced Isabella, who has put in so much time, like you were saying, to figure out how to beat Connor, even at a disadvantage, potentially.
Yeah, Togoshi's experiencing some problems. Okay, take distance. All right, good.
Good, yeah. I was gonna, yeah, nice. Snap cut there, my mechanics. That dash snap cut can be pretty effective, actually.
For
The boss Samuel throws it quite a bit.
yeah, forgot to say, and I apologize for that. In order to keep things smooth, the winner of this fight will immediately fight Grid Square. Um, so we don't have to just constantly switch back and forth between players.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, sometimes those small changes in the timing actually have a big effect on how long the tournament will actually go
Yeah,
in practice, even if it might seem insignificant at first.
yeah, everything kind of adds up, and all of a sudden
Yeah,
you start noticing that you have an extra hour in your tournament.
yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, Mechanics came back, imposed his rhythm. Togoshi had a very good start, but Mechanics wins here and qualifies to the next round, and he will be fighting against the Grid Square. Grid is gonna be left side, and Mechanics is going to be right side. Let's get the Grid in. Yeah, there he is. Best of one. winner gets into round 3, and I can already say it that if you get to round 3, you're definitely going to get a good number of points. And I know this grid the left side, mechanics right side. Oh, I think I need to give him keyboard. Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
I know this was a suggestion back in the day, and it was also critique to the system. Like some people were left frustrated sometimes when there was like a very big tournament, 18, 19 people, even 20 competing. They got pretty far, not necessarily in the top 3, but they got pretty far, and the only thing that they got was a participation point. And they were like, man, I beat so many good guys and had so many wins and got to this point, and I'm not getting anything for it. Like, now it's going to be proportional to your performance, so you don't have to worry too much about something's going on, I believe. Yeah, grid taking left side and mechanics right side. Now it's gonna be like that. Oh, Isabella straight from right from the bat
Yeah.
And it's gonna
Smart
be
pick.
Isabella mirror. We'll see which Isabella goes through.
Yeah, so grid squared plays a very fundamental calc, but when the calc doesn't go so well, he actually switches oftentimes to Isabella. So I'm not surprised, and I think if you're not sure what your opponent's gonna pick, you know, Isabella is a pretty balanced character to select. She has a lot of good tools.
Yeah. Oh, nice retreat. 1-1. Oh,
Nice.
Costa y Donna. Nice.
Yeah, and mechanics moved into it. I don't think he expected a thrust,
Yeah,
so
that was pretty
it
good.
ended up landing perfectly. Yeah. That's the beauty of that stance, is you don't necessarily have to cut. At least from that foot forward, you can also stab.
Yeah, Grid needs to be careful with the fancy moves, though.
Yeah.
Those are nice, but they usually get you killed.
Yeah. It's funny, it's a
2-2.
fair bit different from how he does calc. He
Oh,
sort
nice.
of comes
upcut.
into his own a little bit with Isabella. Yeah, that was good.
Perfect. And this is another good example. And I said it. I don't know if you heard it when you were fighting. There is this argument, and I know there was an argument at one point about moving back, about moving back being the solution of everything. And I somehow disagree with that. I mean, I partially agree and partially disagree.
Yeah.
There are plenty of moments where moving back gets you killed, because that's exactly where you put yourself in range to get hit by a thrust, by an upcut, by a downward cut most of the times. And a lot of people actually get like they're in a very good position to block, and as soon as they move back, their guard is disabled, and they get like the opponent gets perfect range with the attack.
Yeah.
Nice counter with the snap cut.
Yeah. And sometimes even moving forward, depending on the attack, can actually be a good idea too. There's some attacks that are really long range, so if you sort of move forward a little bit into the attack, your auto guard might actually work better in that situation. Or if you just stand still and sort of, so like with the corkscrew, you want to brace against it and stand still. As long as your opponent's not too close to you, you will have a much higher chance of blocking it, even with just regular auto guard. Not necessarily long guard. Long guard will obviously help even more, as will beating the blade, but sometimes you can rely just on your auto guard and the right spot to deflect the stab.
Yeah. Thrust. Yeah, mechanics is waiting for an opportunity to land the snap cut, and it worked earlier, but against Isabella it doesn't work that well because her sword is in the way. Not this time though because it was an upcut. But usually after a regular cut, it's kind of hard to land it. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Oh, a little bit of a risky move there from Grid. Oh, and again
Nice.
with the retreat. Perfect range. Grid needs one more. Yeah, going for the
Bit of
upcut.
a blade beat on the weak. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's risky.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. 6-6.
There's a time when something like that can work, but not when your opponent is ready to insert a snap cut to your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thrust attempt. I've seen that land before, but mechanics was ready. There's a sweet spot where you can hit Isabella's face with that, but it's tough to get consistently against an opponent who's minding their spacing.
Yeah. Yeah, Grid is trying to engage, trying to approach Mechanics. Mechanics was waiting for the counter.
Mm-hmm. Bit of a taunt there.
Goes for the high guard. Upcut. Goes back.
Ooh, sidestep there.
Yeah. Yeah, Isabella mirrors can be quite tense.
Yeah. Especially on this last flag. Any small mistake,
and
there
he
it
gets
is.
it with the retreat.
Nice.
That was what worked for Grid here, and Mechanics also played very well, but he tends at times to become passive, and I think we both agreed some time ago that being too patient usually works against you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a cool fight nonetheless. Congratulations, Mechanics. Thank you for joining. Grid moves on to the next round and we'll be fighting the loser between Nug and Oak. Now we're going to see two more fights. Subu will be facing Senko. Senko looked surprisingly well equipped for a competitive play, so Subu will be careful here. And I know that you never underestimate people.
Yeah.
And here we go. You're already in. Senko the Saber on the right side. Winner will be facing Info. No Senko. Maybe waiting.
Yeah, he was saying that he was raring to go earlier, so. He was in the Discord chat at least.
There he is. Here we go. Left side for Subu, right side for Senko. I will be right back.
All right, good fight, Senko. I'm afraid that's it because we are only doing one set. Gotta be ruthless in the losers bracket. That was the goal.
Alright, I am back. Sorry for keeping you waiting. What was the score? Oh, no, maybe Subu went somewhere as well. Or maybe he's muted.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, did you win?
Yeah, I won.
Okay, how was the fight?
Yeah, it went pretty well. I was ruthless with Barabash because I know you have to be in the losers bracket. So I kept it fast paced and managed to win pretty quickly.
Okay. Senko, thank you very much for competing. You managed to win a set to win a set today, which is still a very good performance considering that you're very new. And now we're gonna see Subu facing Info. Subu starts on the left, and Info on the right. We're probably gonna see Jakub again. waiting for info. There's info. Here we go. Subu starts left. Info starts right. Best of one. You never want to face info in a best of one, because you never know what to expect. Subu left? Did I give you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Going with Yakub. Here we go. Oh, missed the cut there. That happens sometimes, but not this time. Subu gets the cut in. So immediately switching to the small sword doesn't work here.
Yeah, I love how info style, like when she starts, it's always like, hold on a second, I gotta get the small sword out.
Has
If
anyone
she doesn't do that, it's usually an accident, or like she has to defend herself right away or something.
got the kill with the draw cut?
Yeah, I know Platypi was doing it. I managed it once as well. It's definitely quite niche though. Like it's always slower than say a snap cut. Because you're doing like it's like two steps. You're drawing the sword then cutting versus just snapping, right? So the faster cuts are faster for sure by a long shot. Yeah, and I knew info was gonna grab me earlier too. I held down the back button after my cuts didn't work because I know not to fall for that type of stuff with info. Info is surprisingly good at grappling with point weapons, including the rapier.
Look at
Nice.
that. The new thunder punch. The thunder,
Yeah.
I don't know how to call it. Ah, not this time.
It has like no tracking. Yeah.
Yeah, not this time. But it is pretty fast though. Like you can definitely
It is,
surprise
yeah, like it caught me off guard there. Yeah.
somebody with it.
Oh. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. I was gonna go for a thunder punch of my own.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. I've learned my lesson. I also used to kind of at times when I had a very big lead, I was trying to do something fancy, and there were like a few times when I actually lost the fight. Like my opponent got a comeback, and since then, I'm just trying to finish it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, nice push cut, and that's it. Subu wins the fight. The info, thank you very much for competing. Some nice moments there with Jakub, but not enough, unfortunate, to go through. That's it. We have.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's some promise there, I think, with some of those moves that info was showing, but in practice they just don't seem to land nearly as much as they probably should. And so it felt like I could just control the center of my blade, and there wasn't much info could do, as long as I was playing solid.
Yeah. We got to round three, so this is where things start to get a little bit more serious in terms of uh, getting a very good chance at top three position. As I've been saying, it's not going to be as it was before. Like top three is getting something. Still getting to round three will grant some ranking points. I know not everybody's playing for ranking points, but it kind of feels nice to get recognition by advancing to a round where maybe not too many people were expecting you to advance, and getting into round three, it's never an easy job, especially for somebody that maybe does not have that much tournament experience. So it's I've been looking at Nug, for example, so it's pretty refreshing to see some new faces getting closer to the later stages of the game, the tournament. Okay, Oak is here. Let's get Nug as well. We're back in the winners bracket, so this is a best of three. Also, really fun with this new system is that we can see the results immediately after the tournament ends, and we can also see the ranking immediately after. So you don't have to wait for me to do the rankings on a Monday and see where you're at. So we can see. I'm not sure if it's doing it in real time. Actually, let me just quickly check that because I'm curious. I'm curious if it offers the points immediately to the people that were eliminated. Sorry, guys, just a quick check. Okay, in progress it says 52% participants. No, it's not. Where is it? Wait. Tournament monthly ranking. Yeah, it's not showing in real time. The tournament has to end.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, sorry guys. Nug left side, Oak right side. And also the system. I know sometimes it got a little bit of a critique, as in like, oh, all you have to do is be active. You know, it's kind of partially true, and it is something that we encourage. Oh, yeah. We encourage people
Yeah.
to be active, but at the same time, you won't get anywhere just by participating. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you will get some points, maybe you will get the rank at some point, but obviously, if you always like lose in the first round or in the second round, people will always be over you because they will gain more points. So it's more like a
Yeah.
mix, you know, between okay, today I got top three, next time I get top six,
Yeah.
some other time I don't know, I go out in the first round, some other time I win the tournament. So you know, so it's still about performance, but in order to perform, you have to show up. That's the
Yeah.
that's the thing.
And and you could also say by showing up a lot, you get better and you progress as a player, especially if you lab outside of tournaments. You look at what you did wrong, what you did
Yeah.
well, and you try to improve on that.
Yeah, I mean, it all checks out. Like, the most active players are also the best players
Yeah.
all the time. So, you do have some,
Yo, because
like,
speaking of, he's dominating. Yeah.
you do have some oddballs, like you get somebody like Koala coming back every now and then and still winning or doing well, but these are like some exceptions.
Oh yeah.
Like guys
Yeah,
that are not very active but are still able to perform.
yeah. You could say he earned his wings earlier too, because I remember he used to be a lot more active than he is now.
Yeah, he was
So
very active actually.
yeah, so he earned the right to sort of come in, win a tournament, and then leave for a bunch of months, and then come back and troll
Yeah,
people each time.
and it wasn't the same for him either. Like I remember him coming back in certain tournaments and not getting any wins or anything. Like it's more like
Yeah,
the myth, about.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, and he has a psychological effect on people when you play against him. Just
yeah,
it's really frustrating to play against because he
yeah,
will, if he wants to make something work, he'll be very determined to make it work, and it will seem like no matter what you do, it's at least a major threat that you have to address the entire time.
yeah. But that's also a very good counter argument against the activity idea, which is if you're actually very good at the game, you can just show up whenever you feel like, and you're still going to get more points than
Yeah,
people who are just being active get. Like somebody will have to play like 10 tournaments to get the points that you get in a tournament, for example, if you win it.
yeah,
Anyway, back to the fight.
yeah,
2-1. Oak won the first round pretty decisively. He's now leading in this set as well. Um,
yeah,
Nug has to figure something here, but if he doesn't, it's still there's still a second chance in the lower bracket. But of course,
nice.
I wouldn't just quit because this fight is still very close. So just take it step by step, and this is a piece of advice that I would give to anybody.
Hmm.
Like, don't think about what happened in the first set. Just think about that in this set you're not that far.
Yeah, yeah. Comebacks are always possible. I know that well. Oak knows that well too. So obviously you got to keep in mind that he's gonna respect you. He's not gonna, give away flags for free. But your goal here as well is to break up that momentum. You can't let him just win flag after flag after winning the first set. If that happens, you know, it's tough for anybody to come back, I would say, in that situation. But especially if a character like Samuel, if you can find a way to prevent Oak from getting in like this, then your chances look a lot better. We'll see. The last flag to trying that out. There's a double.
Oh, you tried the
The
feint.
feint
Well,
there,
yeah, that
yeah.
was a good idea, but unfortunately, Oak proved to be a little bit too strong in this fight.
Yeah.
Still, solid effort. Oak advances to the semifinal. And Nug will be fighting very soon against Grid.
Hmm.
And it's actually quite a nice matchup because both of them were kind of the surprises of this tournament, and one of them will make it to the top four. Um, and it's a good performance.
Yeah.
Okay, next fight is going to be Captain Adler versus me. Always a very tough fight against Captain. He's a strong player. He's also been a little bit more active, being the host of the only tournaments that we had in this period.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to him for that.
Yeah,
He's been very persistent with hosting the tournament, even through some technical issues, but still hosts anyway.
yeah.
And I'm sure many people in the community appreciate that. I certainly do.
Going with Tarna. nice. I knew that he wanted to do that, but my timing was off.
Yeah. The Tarna's sidesteps might not look the fastest, but they cover a surprising amount of space and they hit really hard. And the point is, yes, they're a little bit slow, but not only do they cover a lot of range, but they allow you to get past the auto guard surprisingly easily. And so, if you're defending against them, you absolutely have a chance to get out of the way, which is usually the counter. But if for some reason you're not prepared to do that, maybe he's dealt with some sort of threat you presented before sidestepping, or he just has a combo chain on you and you're constantly on the defensive, it can be a really rough attack to try defending against, especially for a character like Isabella, who does a good job of blocking the center line, but not the sides of the face or the arms. Nice idea. I see the vision behind the taunt, but Captain just went forward and threw a cut, which you can do with Tarna. If your opponent is a little bit slow on presenting an actual threat, you can go for the trade and get away with it sometimes because of that damage. I like that Venator's keeping it tight. That can be a counter to a lot of these wide swings, is just dominating the center and trying to sort of frame trap Tarna before he can get going. And it's a rather extended exchange actually between these two. The Captain's gotta watch that stamina. Something especially a lot of new players don't realize, when your stamina is low, your auto guard actually gets diminished over time. It's not that it's disabled, but if you are tired and it's showing like the blue sort of indicator and your opponent starts raining down attacks on you, there's a chance that one might slip through. And that's another reason why stamina management is super important. It impacts actually a lot of stuff. And that is one aspect of the system that I do like. Obviously the tired swinging, that's quite exaggerated for gameplay reasons. And a lot of people would prefer it if you were sort of just slowed down if you were low on stamina. But there are aspects of it that I do really like. Nice by Captain. Yeah, those big swings, if you are in the wrong spot at the wrong time, you will have your guard blasted through. And I don't know if Venator wanted those work there.
No.
Yeah.
The rustiness.
Yeah, it's even for me. That's why I try not to input Y when I'm looking for a chop. But Y is the, well, as Kubold even says, like, it's typically the most important button in the game. So it's the button you gravitate towards if you're experienced with the game. Taunt there, nice try by Venator. A little bit too far, it looks like, to capitalize, but the thing is, if you get too close to Tarna, like we've discussed earlier, bad things can happen. Nice stab, not quite a kill, but that snap cut, just slowly picking him apart. Playing the long game a little bit. And as long as Venator doesn't get hit, that's perfectly legit way to play, especially against Tarna. You don't want to brawl with Tarna.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that it's kind of hard to get the one shot, because you need to stay in range and
Yeah.
you just hit him with the tip of your sword.
Yeah. I like the patience from Captain Adler. He's not trying to overthrow. He knows that he's at a disadvantage right now. He wants to make sure that that one move counts, but
Yeah.
those retreats do leave you a little bit open. So nice capitalizing there by Venator.
That was pretty tough, I have to say.
Yeah.
Gotta maintain a good range.
Yeah, I'd say there's an argument that Captain Adler's Tarna might be the best in the server right now, just because some Tarna players are a little bit inactive lately.
Yeah.
Like obviously Connect, he used to be the Tarna player, but he isn't as active anymore. So it's interesting. A fair few of these Tarna players, like Platypi as well, and even Pico to a lesser extent, not only do they play Tarna, but they play Isabella as well. You see that in the USSD especially. The pick makes sense, but Venator appears to have found his rhythm, so it's not going to be an easy mirror match.
The bait worked. Like the oldest bait in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Just go in high guard and then lower your block.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes that's the way to tell. I'm not saying Captain did a Nubush mistake or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
and
It's
I
just
think it
sometimes
just
when you present stuff like that, a lot of the experienced players won't engage. They'll be like, okay, this is a trap, I will not engage, right? Whereas new players will be like, oh, he's open, I'm gonna go in. Sometimes to their benefit, actually. Sometimes the elite players don't expect that. It's like, oh shit. But other times it's not to their benefit at all, and they fall for the bait.
thought I was gonna get a double.
Yeah. Like I said, not saying Captain's playing bad or anything like that. It's just, in this case, it sort of threw him off, and Venator was able to capitalize. There's probably a lot of things on Captain's mind right now as he tries to make this comeback. And I think he went for long guard there at point blank, so that Y cut had no issues landing. But I see the vision there. If you get close with long guard, you actually can land the thrust surprisingly easily. So you cannot allow Isabella to blade beat you or to hit you in the head. Going for a taunt as well, and then a dash. I like it, Captain's sort of learning from his opponent a little bit, trying to mirror the tactics, stay in the fight. Forward X manages to set aside the blade this time, but that snap cut as he moved to the side is able to land. Venator more than happy to play the long game. That's often how it goes with Isabella. If you cannot score a flag in the first exchange, it can get really grindy. And ooh, Venator dashes in there. 2 hits actually for Captain, but they were
Actually, I beat the linger there with that
yeah,
thing.
it was weird, but yeah, I was gonna.
I countered the bug with which is apparently another bug.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. At least not like that.
I think, yeah, if you input something before, maybe it still plays out. I'm not sure. But
yeah, that would make sense. A lot of games have bugs like that, so. And it's all based on how they queue, like, inputs and stuff. Oh, and yeah, he got caught coming
GG.
in there.
GG. Yeah, good fight. Captain will be fighting soon in the lower bracket. I have to say, his Tarna was more dangerous
Yeah.
overall because maybe Tarna is not stronger than Isabella, but it it brings a different fight. It's a fight that like the thing with an Isabella mirror, although it's quite grindy, since it's a mirror, it means you can play at close range and you can play at long range and medium range. When you play against Tarna or some other strong heavy hitters, you can't play on close range. So you always gotta be in at least medium or full range. So that if you play Tarna or any other character well, that can give you an edge over Isabella. Yeah, we're moving into the lower bracket here. we're gonna have actually three matches here in the lower bracket. So we're gonna see Nug versus Grid. It's gonna
Hmm.
be Grid versus Nug actually, based on the win. I have my
Yeah.
own system, probably know. That's why you're
Yeah.
also gonna be on left against Captain. Um, so Grid versus Nug, then Subu versus Captain, and then the winners are going to be fighting again, and the winner of that fight has a guaranteed top three position. So fight hard, lads. Grid versus Nug is next. Actually, I'm gonna keep Captain Adler in because he's gonna be fighting immediately, so there's no reason to take him out. Grid is here. Let's get Nug. Very excited for this one. Because the winner is going to be in top four, and that's a very good
Yeah.
performance, in my opinion.
Yeah. In any of these tournaments, you should be happy with the top four, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'm sort of glad that with this new system, we're going away. Not that it was bad, of course, because I designed it, but we're moving away from this top three thing that kind of made people uncomfortable. You know, like, oh, it's got to be top three. Sometimes it works positively. You know, there's something to strive for. Grid left side, Nug right side. But now that each win and each performance that you have takes you, uh, gives you some reward, and the position that you got in is properly rewarded, I think it's it's definitely beneficial.
Yeah.
It is.
Samuel Mirror, actually.
I'll be fair. There was somebody, I can't remember who, but there was somebody that proposed this at some point. The problem was that with the system that I had before, which was all manual, which was all based on a lot of things like the connection and everything, it was very difficult to design a system that will properly reward every single position in the tournament,
Hmm.
because you had to take into consideration all those other factors, and it was just a nightmare. Uh,
Yeah.
but now that challenge is doing it, that's perfectly fine. Nug with a strong
Yeah.
start.
Yeah. You're using that lunge very well. Just imposing that lunge when the opportunity looks like it's there and getting 3 flags back to back.
I'm gonna say one more thing about that system. I know I've been talking a lot about it because I'm
All
actually
good. No, it's fine.
excited. I think it's also going to be really fun that at the end of the tournament, we can actually see. So we're going to look at the rankings and we're going to see how many points each person got, and we can even check
Hmm.
the monthly rankings immediately and see. Okay, let's see who got to a higher position, and because I think those things make the competitive aspect of the game a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Is there lag or something? Yeah,
probably.
it looks a little weird. The movement there. Now, just long guard when you're good to go. Or let us know what's happening if. All right, nice.
I think it's good.
Yeah. Goes in with that down forward X, I believe that is. And Sam's a good example of what people mean when they say they want a responsive character. Like, when you do that lunge, you can actually cancel it into other stuff. Like, you can go immediately to the side and strike at the leg. And it's just, when you play Sam and you compare him to Saba, Hassan, or even Jakob in a lot of ways, you just feel a lot freer to do whatever you want. where some of these newer characters are just way too slow. Even Yendrick, obviously Yendrick does have some issues, but I'd say he feels pretty responsive as far as characters go. Like, he doesn't feel like he has this plague, if you will, that the really new characters have, where it's just really tough to make stuff work and to flow into attacks. And I did send Kubel some feedback about Jakob in particular. I think I sent him some about Sava as well, and he definitely has read it, so we'll see what he does with it, if anything. But Nug is still
Yeah,
ahead by a fair
yeah.
margin.
Nug is actually
But
saying that you know, the lag is bad, and asking if we can switch hosts. Um, I definitely, obviously, I believe Nug that is having a tough time. I'm not usually very happy with the idea of switching hosts because that usually creates. I mean, obviously, most of the times there's no host available. Um,
yeah,
but the thing is, it kind of creates a precedent where
yeah,
people are just gonna start asking, but I want to play on this host, I want to play on that host. I'm not saying that Nug is doing this right now. I'm just saying that it kind of creates a thing. So
yeah,
everybody knows what they sign up for. This is the host, this is the tournament, and that's gonna be. It's not like in USFC where it's like one fight. You know, it's
yeah,
different. Can't switch hosts all the time when you're fighting in a
yeah.
tournament.
And even with the USFC, the host availability will still vary. And I do try to stick with my host if it's clear that there's nothing going on my end, right? Like if obviously if my internet's crashing and burning, then I'm more than happy to just, switch to one host and we'll stick with that host for the most part. But you're right, because it's one fight, there's a lot more freedom. So if
Yeah.
people prefer an EU host, we can still make that work and still do it in enough time.
Yeah, it's just an objective thing, which is
Yeah,
this is the host, everybody plays on the host, and that's it.
yeah,
Um, I remember there were some times in some tournaments where like things weren't going well, and you even said like, okay, we can play on your host, and I said like, dude, that's literally like the opposite of the purpose why I'm here, because
yeah,
the reason why I'm here is to test myself on a different. This is unrelated to Nug, by the way.
yeah, yeah,
The reason why I'm here is because I want to play on this host. You know, just win on this host. If I play on my
yeah.
own, then it defeats the purpose. Anyway, Grid
And
is
Nug's making it a fight though, to his credit.
one
Yeah.
flag away. Grid is also from Asia, by the way, and that's it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 7-5. And really sorry that I went for this speech about lag and everything, but it is what it is. I'm sorry it ended this way. Nug had a very good lead, but the Grid moves on, and he's in top 4 right now. And we'll be waiting for the winner between Subu and Captain Adler. And we're going to see that fight right now. Okay. Subu is on the left. Captain Adler is on the right. This is going to be a very intense fight. Captain is a guy that doesn't take unnecessary risks, and he's very aware of the caliber of the opponent that he's facing. Subu, so I believe that this is going to be a tight fight. And even if the fight ends in, I don't know, 7-0, 7-1, I still believe that every flag is going to be quite disputed. Beautiful. Nice shot. 4-0 for Subu. Captain needs to find something here. He wasn't able to get going. Oh, and he actually gets the kill here. Um, yeah, I'm probably not gonna stop talking about rankings tonight, so you have to bear with me. The new rankings are the new ranking system, let's call it. There are a few changes. It's going to be posted soon. But just as something that you can keep in mind is that the roles are going to be awarded to the top 15 players of the month. So if you want a nice role, you need to be in that top 15. And next week we're going to do the Olympics, which means multiple tournaments, and even showing up and just maybe getting a top 3 place here, maybe getting second round there. Yeah, that's it. 7-1. Subu has been tearing apart this lower bracket. And he moves on to the semi-final. Thank you very much, Captain, for competing. And now we're gonna see Subu. It's actually Grid on the left and Subu on the right in the semi-final. We're gonna find out who stays in the tournament and who gets a top 3 position. Grid should be quite happy with his performance so far.
Yeah, good game, Captain Adler.
Here we go. Very curious to see who Grid is going to use here. Most likely Sam, I believe. Yeah.
Sorry, a bit of a lag spike. I'll just let it pass. Yeah, I think it's good now. Let's go. Yeah, really sorry. I know that was a terrible time to pause, but I could not see anything, so I didn't even know we were that close.
So we went to the bathroom. Looks like we have a very close fight here. And a nice side step. And it's 4-3 for Grid here. Nice chop. 4-4. It's also pretty difficult to fight against somebody that doesn't necessarily feel the pressure as you do. Not saying that Grid is not feeling any pressure, it's just that he got to a pretty good stage of the tournament, and he's fighting one of the best players in the world. So it's a very good moment for him to. Oh, that's a nice retreat. And we've actually seen this technique even earlier when he fought Mechanics. They both hit each other here. It's gonna be an important flag, this one. Oh, and he actually loses the exchange there. 5-5. Close fight. This is where Subu enters second phase. Gotta be careful. Oh, chop. He canceled the chop there and didn't fully land. That's sometimes the downside of canceling an attack. Like it hits, but it just barely close. Oh, it beats the blade there, and Subu takes initiative. And Subu needs only one more. Grid needs two. Anything can happen. Oh, nice sidestep and then the follow-up. I wasn't expected that to land. 6-6, one flag remaining. Grid has been in this position before. So has Subu in one of the sets. Oh, and the counter tempo, and Grid actually wins. Well, will Grid go in this tournament? Subu fought well, but it was a very close fight, but Grid won it. Congratulations. And Grid gets into top 3.
Perfect countercut there. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was a good fight. I think there's nothing to be upset of. Of course, you know, besides you know, losing the fight, but it was a very good fight. I think you fought very well.
Yeah.
I think he also fought very well, and I think the reason why he won wasn't because you played bad, is because he played well, and I think that's
100%.
Yeah, that was a really good fight. So yeah, Grid still continues in the tournament. He had a pretty rough start, losing the first set against Senko, then barely winning the second. Then he lost against Captain Adler without much of a reply, and then since then in the lower bracket, he racked 3 wins in a row, and he's in the top 3 here today. So he's going to end with the possibility to maybe even win the tournament. Who knows? But until then, we're gonna see another eternal winners bracket semi-final, which is Oak versus me. We have hundreds of fights, and let's see if Oak added new tricks. Here we go. Oak on the left, I'm on the right. Yeah, pretty standard picks. Here we go.
Nice. Venator scoring a flag right after It's often how these fights go at this high level. Nice taunt there. This time we're seeing it work out very well as Oak stepped into it. And Venator actually did the A cut this time, which hit the hand. Nice to see that working on the Isaac's guard too. It's definitely used properly. It's a really effective tactic. And Venator trying to find a nice angle there, but in doing so he actually got hit. But the vision was there. Oak was just ready. And yeah, didn't win the trade. It might have gone a little bit better if he hadn't taken the first hit. Difficult to say. It is literally a game of inches between these two. The snap cut, and Yazuk kind of threw the sword at Isabella, but there was obviously no damage. Kind of one of those funny interactions you sometimes get. Nice, doubling up the attacks there as Venator thought he had a window to try high guard, but his arm got hit. Yazuk has a certain pattern to his combos that you have to... It's sort of a knowledge check. If you fail that knowledge check, Oak is gonna just go bananas. But it's not just that, it's also staying cool under pressure. It's also a matter of being patient, because if you're overextending against those wrist cuts, you're just gonna get cut to pieces. Nice attempt at a snap cut by Venator, not able to find the hit, and this time he's vulnerable with the high guard. Oak called him out. That's not a cut we see often with Yazuk, but I think it's an underrated one. It's actually a great cut for zoning. We were talking about characters who are better at zoning earlier. Obviously, I wouldn't call Yazuk a zoner per se, but that particular cut gives him a tool in his toolbox that he can use to zone with. And there's a couple of those. And that's sort of what we mean when we say some of these characters, especially the classic ones, or some of the... They're actually older characters by now, but they were added a little bit later on. They have tools for multiple situations. And it feels like some of these new characters do not. Oak is, yeah, he's just going in. And I fought him earlier, so I know that this guy is completely on the ball right now. And so Oak needs one more, and I think this win is pretty important at this high level to get right off the bat, especially from such a deficit. It's not that... Ooh, that actually got through.
Oh yeah.
And aimed it at the side of the face, I suppose. And it managed to slip in.
Good first set here for Oak. Kind of had to get used to how Oak plays, to his timing and to the moves that he's using. I kind of knew that this was gonna be really tough. Let's see.
Nice hit. Venator trying to slip a cut in there, but eventually he does force it there. That I think that's retreating A.
Yeah.
Gathered the blade there and hit the hand. That was actually a nice move there. Not one we see terribly often, but I remember Warden was throwing moves like that all the time back in the day.
Yeah, that was
back when Isabella was very
his
responsive. Yeah.
His bread and butter, which was he was kind of put himself at risk, and then all of a sudden he threw something that...
Yeah. Oh, Body had an opening there, but Venator weathers the storm impressive patience by Venator. It looked like any one of those moves could have landed, but he stayed locked in. And I honestly would not have been surprised if one of those landed, believe it or not, given the targets that Oak was picking. But Venator stayed solid. He moved when he needed to move. And now it's actually looking pretty good for him this round. Yeah, Oak going with that cut. Venator trying to punish. And there it goes, the wrist cut to the head. Ooh, yeah, this time he actually did get a hit. There was a little bit of a graze there, but Venator got a much more decisive hit. And there we go, double. Good pressure by Oak, but Venator was able to strike him right back. There's a taunt there. Oak recognizes the danger. He doesn't overextend this time. And yeah, just goes in with that snap cut. That's the cool thing about Yasuo, because he has that snap cut off of a combo instead of just throwing a snap cut naked, which is also a good move. I'm not saying the characters that throw him naked are bad. Obviously, they're bread and butter moves for a reason. But it's cool to have a snap cut as part of a combo. But it doesn't help Oak here. Venator is able to secure this round.
Yeah, I didn't want to say, because I know it would have sounded the wrong way. After finishing the first set, I wanted to say something like, okay, I understand his rhythm now, but I didn't want to say something and then get completely washed after.
Yeah.
But
it does feel that way though.
Yeah, but now I'm sure that I'm gonna get the third set Oak. Third set Oak is gonna be pretty tough. So let's see what happens.
Okay, a bit of a clashing of swords there. Not much has come of it just yet as they feel each other out. Big cuts there, a bit of a trade. Pretty horrific wound actually on the Yasuo hit there. He would not want to sustain a wound like that. A lot of pain. That's a very sensitive area. And obviously a lot of blood. Nice, Venator.
Disputed flag.
Yeah. Yeah, just was able to slip that one important shot in, but it definitely was not easy.
Oh.
Went for a taunt there, but Oak, yeah, that cut is extremely dangerous because it not only allows Oak to retreat, but he covers himself really well. So if you taunt, like Venator tried there, it kind of overrides the taunt, which is how attacks tend to work, is they'll blast through your guard if you're taunting, and obviously they can allow you to actively defend sometimes, where your auto guard might fail. But yeah, that's a very dangerous cut to try opposing. Very likely to insta-kill you. In fact, Oak threw it just then to get the double. Nice.
You
Over the
read it.
top.
You read it.
Yeah. Feints by both. They clash a little bit, and Oak instantly gets called out. I see what he was going for, but the hand was cut straight off. Too much of a wind-up to oppose the high guard cut. Sidestep attempt, but there's the arm hit for Oak. So it is a double. Venator exerting some pressure here. Doesn't find an opportunity just yet, but they are both sort of poking and prodding at each other's defenses, trying to get the other to open themselves up. What the opponent will do. Nice back Y in the end there. Thankfully, Oak was throwing a cut there that exposed his hand to that back Y. Snap cut. And there we go, high guard. It's a really interesting move because sometimes it's easy to block, but if you are doing stuff, and I think that's the trap that some people fall into, is sometimes they're in the middle of cutting, they're in the middle of feinting, whatever it might be. They're doing something besides squaring up to block. And that's where the high guard will blast through, yeah.
Yeah. It's just...
Good pressure by Oak. That's an example there of moving back sometimes, not quite doing it for you as far as defense, which is good to see. Ooh, 2 hits by Oak.
I was like just a little bit to get that side step.
This like final phase Oak. He knows he can lose any point, so he's not gonna give away the flag. A lot of... Oh my goodness, he actually parried that actively somehow. A lot of pressure by Oak. It's really tough to deal with against a good Yazlik, and that snap cut actually beats Isabella's snap cut to the punch. Which I'm actually not surprised by. Yazlik's cuts are some of the fastest in the game. And went over top to the head, and headshots are super important in this game. We saw there, Venator did land a body shot, but it just didn't have enough oomph to it compared to that cut to the head. Very good move by Oak there to reach over and try and hit the head.
Oh.
Yazlik is tricky. He has some bigger cuts than you'd expect too with some of his moves. And sometimes your only option is to kind of turtle up and wait him out a little bit. There are windows between them where you can punish them sometimes, but you have to know your character really well to pull that off. Still, Venator did score a hit, which could prove important. There's again, Venator almost fell into that same flag again with that snap cut. Beat him to the punch, but he did good there defending. High guard. Applying some pressure there as Oak's stamina is still doing fine, but there we go, the snap cut.
Yeah, he was going for the side step again, and he caught me like 3 times with it, but this time my snap cut timing was better. Oof.
Yeah.
Just kind of reminded me why I left this game. Because these fights are so difficult. Yeah. I'm in the grand final. Oak and Grid are going to be fighting in the lower bracket. I would ask Oak if he needs a minute, but I know that he usually just likes to go right into it, so me ask him. Oh, he's saying something. Yeah, good to go. Okay. Yeah, most people don't necessarily like waiting, so they just kind of go into it. Oak looking great in this tournament, but he is going to be facing Grid, who has been a pleasant surprise here in this tournament, and it's a best of one. Anything can happen. There's Grid. Oak starts left side. Oh, it's already almost 3 hours. Okay. So Oak is left, Grid is right. In the meantime, let me see if the PS services are back. Oh, they're back. Nice. Can play some UFC tonight. Great.
Nice.
But but it actually
Nice.
took. This was actually a major outage.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some research and it seems that most outages are like between 1 2 hours, but this one has been
Yeah,
going
that
for
makes
like
sense.
a few good hours. Uh,
Yeah, I think the PlayStation Network sometimes gets hacked or something, and then it like overwhelms their system. I'm
uh,
not sure if that's what's happening
they
here,
said
but I know it's happened
something with
before.
the Amazon, something in the Amazon. I don't know what happened.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, because there's like companies that own most of the servers or something, so if they go kaput, then so do a bunch of other companies, I think.
yeah. Okay, let's see Oak versus Grid. Oak takes left side, Grid takes right side. Yeah, going with Jacek. And Grid obviously going with Sam, which I believe is not only a good pick for him because he demonstrated some good skill, but also a good pick against Jacek. Jacek can struggle against Sam. Good opportunity there for Grid. Unfortunately, yeah. And now he's that's one thing that separates experienced players from people who are still making their mark is that Oak was at disadvantage, but he was still patient enough to get the kill.
Hmm.
Double. Again. Oh, that was beautiful from Oak. Took his leg. Double.
Double.
After this round, I'm just gonna quickly go get some water. It's gonna be like 2 minutes, and also give Oak a little bit of time to rest. If he wins, of course, or give Grid some time to rest. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, Oak is in top form today.
yeah, he's looking great.
Ooh, a little too slow this time. I see what he was going for, but nice by Grid Square.
Oak is most likely. Um, I think I could say for sure. After tonight, even if he loses right now,
Mm-hmm.
he will be number one in the rankings because he was number two, only 2 points behind Mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's gonna get a good number of points here, even with a second or a third place. So he's probably gonna be number one after this tournament. But of course, Oak's objective in every tournament is to win. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's not thinking about getting a second or a third place. Oh, and it looks like Grid is actually coming back. It was 4-0 at one point, and Grid now scored 3. Oh, landed a nice retreat cut. Not enough. In the first two flags, oh, but he still gets the kill. In the first two flags, Grid was also able to land a hit on Oak, but then he
Yeah.
lost the first flag and then doubled the second. Oh, beautiful. Well, we see a very interesting comeback here. From 4-0 is now 5-4. Can Grid go all the way? But this is also the time when Oak gets into second phase, so you gotta be careful. I particularly have trouble with Oak,
Mm-hmm.
and I do remember some fights where, oh, nice. I'm like 3, 4 flags ahead, and all of a sudden I just can't score the winning flag.
Yeah.
Anyway, Grid is now very, very close to producing a massive surprise here from every point of view. He has 3 chances to get into the grand final. Oh, beats his
Nice.
blade. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, and then that's what I love about Yazid's combos. When he doesn't waste time. Like when he beats your blade, he has a response that'll immediately strike you. Those are my favorite combos in this game. Ooh, almost got the hand. I think Grid Square. He did try. The second.
Oh, got the first
It's
hit,
a
but
double.
it's double, yeah.
Yeah. Great try by Grid Square. He nearly took it there.
It's also that now Grid, even if he loses this one, he has shown that the win against Mechanics and the win against you were not flukes. He's
Hmm.
doing this against all good players, including Oak.
Yeah.
Lands a hit.
Oh, back X there. Yeah. To the leg. That lowers the stamina as well. Although Oak did get some of it back. And yeah, you got the double. Nice.
Got the double, yeah. I'm not sure if Grid got to a final before.
I don't think he has in a tournament like this, but I might be wrong.
Oh, Oak landed
Nice.
a hit.
Oak under a lot of pressure though. You can see he was kind of pressing a bunch of retreat attacks there, but it worked. So you can tell.
Oh, and he got
and
him.
forced it through. Yeah.
Yeah. Down to
I
the
think he
last
did
flag.
2 attacks there. Yeah.
Oak was able to not easily get the 2 flags back.
Yeah.
Let's see if Grid can score the winning flag though, or Oak completes his comeback. Goes for the side step, gets blocked.
Yeah.
But
And Grid Square, when he lost that flag, he wasn't playing badly. It's just Oak had his foot on the gas pedal at just the right time, and it was really tough for even
ooh,
Samuel's
missed.
guard to withstand that. Good exchange between these
Yeah.
two.
Oh,
Oh,
he
and there
gets
it is.
Man, you gotta give this guy his flowers. It's incredible. Honestly, like he won the first fight. in a very difficult way against a new player, and then he lost quite decisively against Captain Adler, and you were like, oh, okay, he's probably not gonna do much in this tournament, and then all of a sudden in the lower bracket he got to a point where he won, and I think this tournament, regardless of how this ends, will stay in his memory because he has defeated you and he has defeated Oak in in succession, and both fights were 7-6, which makes the win even sweeter. Oak probably, uh, he had a pretty taxing fight against me earlier where we went down to the last leg. Sometimes that takes a little bit of energy out of you and
Mm-hmm.
out of the focus. But Oak gets third place here tonight. Congratulations, always a top guy. And I'll tell you a crazy statistic about Oak. When I was
Yeah.
doing the rankings, I was adding the tournaments for the rankings and challenge. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of looking at some players to see how many points they got into a specific tournament. Like how many points did they get in a tournament with 20 people? How many points they get in a tournament with 8 people and whatnot? And I looked at
Yeah.
Oak because he's very active, and I opened the page, the challenge page where you can see the placement, and
Mm-hmm.
the whole page in challenge was only top three.
Yeah.
Like there was no, obviously we're talking about somewhat recent tournaments, but there were like 10, 15 tournaments top three in all of them,
Mm-hmm.
which is a crazy statistic. I didn't have that, and some
Yeah.
other players didn't. So the consistency is crazy. Um, but yeah, Grid moves on to the grand final. We're gonna give him a few minutes to cool off and prepare for what might be a major upset here. He has beaten you, has beaten Oak. He might as well beat me as well. But in order to do that, he will have a little bit of a mountain to climb. Not in the fight difficulty, but in terms of how the tournament works, which means there's going to be a best of three. And if he wins this best of three, there's still going to be a best of one after. So he will basically have to defeat me in 3 sets. I have to defeat him twice or even once if it's on the
Mm-hmm.
last. So a little bit difficult, but it's going to be a best of three, so he will have a lot of time to to adjust. Plus, Sam is quite a formidable opponent to Isabella as well, if he plans to use Sam. Um, there was something else I wanted to say, but I guess we're just gonna take a very short 2 minutes break, and then we're gonna move on to. Yeah, I remember what I wanted to say, and sorry for yapping so much today. I guess I kind of missed commenting Hellish Quart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it kind of goes to show a little bit, and I know it's anecdotal evidence. Grid Square has 220 ping, and
Mm-hmm.
he's been playing like for a few months. Oak, on the other hand, has something like 70, I believe, ping, and he's been playing
Yeah.
for so long. And it kind of goes to show that if you set your mind to and you accept the fact that it's gonna be rough, I'm gonna have to deal with ping, but I still need to lock in, you can win fights and you can get pretty far,
Yeah.
regardless of ping and all that. I know nobody has said anything about it, but it just kind of feels like one of those examples that you can give.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. All right. Quickly going to the bathroom, getting some water, getting ready for the grand final against the surprise of the tournament, which is Grid Square, and hopefully we're gonna have a good one. I'll be right back. are back. Let's start the grand final, and I'm going to exasperate. Is that a word? Exasperate you with another thing about rankings. Is that I'm actually really happy that Grid got so far because it's going to be really interesting to see how many points he gets and how much that uh, lifts him up in the rankings. He's going to be in top 15 for sure, but maybe even top five or close to top five. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Grid is here. Very excited to fight him as he looked great. And a quick again reminder of how this works. So we're gonna do a best of three, and if Grid wins this best of three, then we are going into a sudden death single set that will decide everything. But if I win the best of three, obviously the tournament ends. Here we go. Good
Yeah.
luck.
Taunt to open the fight there. Venator looking for that early hit. That is something Venator, especially against the character like Samuel, loves to do, to just break open the guard and make something happen right off the bat. A lot of people talk about how he's good at counter-striking and that's sort of his playstyle, but you can see here he is also looking for ways in the whole time. And if you present opportunities for him to land attacks, he will take them.
Yeah, and the thing is that those opportunities don't necessarily come very easily. So
Yeah.
you got to be
Yeah.
patient with it. And
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in this type of a matchup. Oh, yeah. Nice try, but Grid Square with these sweeping cuts with Samuel. Big forward X there. Venator looking for a long guard move, but that hand popped right off. And there's a nice taunt into snap cut, but he was called out. And again, that's where it becomes difficult sometimes to make the taunt work when your opponent is happy to just sort of call you out.
yeah.
And Samuel's reach is pretty surprising. It's not so clear cut that Isabella has the reach advantage here, I would say. It depends on the move they throw. But Grid Square is making this a fight so far. Venator is going to have to work for it. And I feel better. Obviously, I didn't feel that bad about losing the Grid Square. He 100% earned that win. But seeing him obviously defeat Oak, and then now seeing him challenge Venator, I can, feel a little bit better. It's like, alright, I played well. It's just Grid Square also played well. Not that I doubted that, but it is nice to see that the person who beat me is now putting on such a good show.
Yeah,
And I think we all feel that way sometimes.
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with rooting for the underdog because it creates nice stories.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I wasn't
100%.
fighting him, I would also root for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people need to see, like, but I think even getting this far, regardless of how this ends, still a very good story.
Yeah. 100%. Sidestep wide there. That's a nice move that Sam has. Just sort of snap cut while moving laterally. But there we go. Venator forcing that stab through the auto guard at the perfect range. Doing a great job setting those opportunities up, and just a little bit out of measure there for Grid Square. And that's all it takes to be punished very viciously. Sometimes literally less than an inch is all it takes to decide a flag. High guard, there we go. Calling Grid Square out there after the whiff. And that's where the high guard becomes really dangerous. And nice, Venator going straight for the cut this time. And that cut was too slow to get a perfect hit.
Yeah, so I get the first set, and from now on, it's very simple. I need to win one of the next three if we go there, and the grid has to win all three in order to win the tournament. It may sound like a lot, but sometimes if you just don't think too much about the climb and you just think about the moment, they go pretty fast. Nice.
Nice. Nap cut there. Venator kind of cancel it, but that's the game, especially in this format. But it's nice that you can do that because you can be very deliberate with what you want to do. And at the end of the day, even if he couldn't cancel it, it was a hit. So like it doesn't matter in this particular case at all. Well done by Venator. It does lead to some funny looking animations, but again, that's Hellish Quart. So I tell some of the new guys, like something weird happens. It's not just dynamic muscle. Sometimes it's just the game, and
Yeah.
that's it. But I will say, this build of the game, if you play with the correct settings, it is still a lot of fun.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too different from before, but it feels a little bit more stable. I would have to say we haven't seen
Yeah,
too many weird interactions or bugs or anything like that.
yeah.
Oh
Oh, unlucky.
my god.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Gosh, I hate that as well when I play Isabella and end up throwing that by
Yeah,
mistake.
I
I've actually had it benefit me sometimes because it like guards your head, but those moments are few and far between and very accidental when they happen.
I don't get this problem too often, but part of me being a little bit rusty with my inputs is me doing stuff like that.
Yeah. And your subconscious is like, I want to hit him on the head, so I gotta press Y. And so even though I know I should press X probably, I press Y sometimes too, and sometimes that's fine, other times not so much. Nice. Nice. When one more is needed for Venator, but Grid Square, regardless of what happens here, did a fantastic job. But I would not rule him out just yet. He's looking for that blade beat.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
and he overextended just a little bit, and Venator got it. Nice.
Yeah, nice. I could definitely feel um, how Grid was able to win the fights, and he was pretty strong in certain moments.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it was mostly like I have a couple of tricks, and unless you fought me many times,
Yeah.
uh, you will probably fall for some of those tricks, and that's fine. That has nothing to do with the level of play we're not. It's just like being used to fighting somebody. Because I said it multiple times. Like I fought you so many times. I fought Oak so many times,
Yeah.
and we got used to each other. So we kind of know how to counter. But I haven't fought Grid that much, so he
Mm-hmm.
probably doesn't know a couple of the things that I do every now and then. And yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, very happy to be back. I'm happy I was able to win the tournament. I did not expect it, but I'll take it. Very happy that we had a nice story to tell today, which is Grid's story coming into the
Mm-hmm.
final, defeating some legendary players like yourself, Oak. And yeah, I also want to thank you for helping out with the commentary. Good to speak to you again after some time. And
Yeah, likewise.
now my favorite part, which is let's have a look at the rankings and what happened with the points and everything. I've been talking so much today about it. Uh, okay, I'm gonna end the tournament now. Let's see if something happens here in the. Uh, no, so we have to go to rankings. I'll share my screen so you can all see. Okay, we're gonna go to monthly ranking July. Okay, I think the tournament was added. Yeah, the tournament was added. Um, so Oak got 9 points for getting third place and is now first in the rankings. Mechanics got 2 points and he's now second with 27. Captain Nadler got 3 and his number 3 with 18. I also got 18 for winning the tournament. I think it's a pretty good number to be honest. And I'm tied on number 3. Grid is number 5. He got 12 points. He got 12 points for second place. That's pretty good. He's number 5 right now. And Subu got 6 points for fourth place. Yeah, and now got 14 points, so close to the top 5. I also got Nug with 3 points, now at number 8, and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah, Oak is in pole position. It's gonna be really interesting next week with the events that we're gonna have. Mechanics is also there, has a pretty good lead compared to number 3. The Grid is in top 5 after this amazing run, and Subu obviously just a few points behind. Yeah, really nice that you can see immediately. Um,
Yeah.
okay, thank everybody for competing. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful rest of the evening.